Welcome back to Midday. Roxanna Ferguson joining us from TravelWise on this special edition of our travel deals. We're not talking travel deals today at all, in fact.
It's Monday, so we're going to talk a recent destination I went to, which, of course, you know is Iceland.
Now, let's first talk about the fact that those who you took on this trip didn't know where they were going. It was a mystery trip.
Absolutely. On our last bike and barge, a few people came up to me, and I'll admit, I think they probably had a few drinks, and they said, we want you to take us on a trip and not tell us where we're going. So that was almost 2 years ago. And so it's been planned for about a year and a half. And, you know, of course, I'd get a million emails asking different questions that they thought would try and trip me up. So it was great fun, all the way to the end.
Did anybody know? Did anybody figure it out?
A lot of people guessed the right destination.
But they didn't know.
I never, ever let on.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Good
not.
for you.
Yeah.
And so the destination, turns out, was Iceland, which I find particularly interesting because most people have not been to Iceland. Let's be honest. A lot of people have not.
Well, these people are very well traveled. They travel with me a lot, and none of them had been there, and that was part of the deal. Was it couldn't be someplace they had been before.
Right.
So I think a lot of people go to Iceland maybe as a stopover if they're taking Iceland Air to get somewhere, because they do have great airfares, and they do have a deal where you can stop and not pay extra for your stopover in terms of your flight, the cost of your flight. So I know a lot of people who have been, but definitely don't know a lot of people who have done it as extensively as we did.
How long were you away?
9 days.
Let's get into the pictures, and we won't rip through these too quickly. We'll talk a little bit about each of them, if that's all right. It seems to me the scenery is absolutely spectacular.
So it's all about the nature, and I'm sorry for those of you that want to know what each particular place is. I cannot begin to pronounce any of them.
I bet.
So other than Reykjavik, that's as far as I'm going. So yes, Iceland is all about waterfalls, nature, volcanoes, caves, rocks, lakes, icebergs, glaciers, and it was absolutely stunning. This was the first waterfall we went to, and we thought this was pretty amazing because it truly was amazing, but it was the first of 6 that we saw.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't have 6 different pictures of waterfalls because you only gave me 21 pictures to show. But the waterfalls are spectacular, and that's something that I always love to go and find no matter where I am. I just think they're calming and exciting and invigorating all at once.
Yes.
So so that was a great first start.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go into the next picture here.
So this is a crater, in case you can't tell, and if you look at the very top of this photo, you can see 2 little sticks, which are people. And so it's a beautiful birding area where it's a plethora of birds to watch and walk all over the craters. And Iceland, I think their last volcanic eruption it wasn't so long ago. I'm trying to remember, maybe 4 years ago. So they do cause some disruption, but they're absolutely beautiful. And I love crater walking. So that was another stop that we did that I could have stayed a lot longer there,
Sure.
but we had to move on.
Time doesn't allow.
No.
Okay, into the next one.
So this was one of the lava fields we went to, and you know, if you haven't figured it out, I love hiking, and again, I could have stayed here forever. And I have a photographer who follows me on Instagram, and he said, oh, I can't wait to go. I want to spend 3 weeks there. Well, if you're spending 3 weeks in Iceland, you're spending it in a camper van with a cooler and grocery food and wine and beer that you brought from duty free in Canada.
Okay.
Because to spend, you know, even the 9 nights that we were there, it was very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But if you love hiking and you love exploring nature, it's just the most beautiful, picturesque place you could possibly go to.
What months are you going in, though, to really get the best of it?
Well, it depends what you want. If you want hiking and that sort of thing, then June, July, August is kind of the prime time. June is one of the busiest months. If you want to see the Northern Lights, you have to go October through December.
But are you snowshoeing at that time?
You know what? But here's an interesting thing. Iceland is actually warmer in the winter than New York or Boston.
Okay.
So it's not
People
that you're
wouldn't know
cold,
that.
but it's damp, right?
Yes.
And it's dark.
Sure.
And that's the part that I don't think I could handle for
the
more than a
darkness.
few days.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a couple days.
Sure.
Because it's dark. Like, we never ever saw darkness.
Yeah.
We saw dusk, never darkness.
That's awesome.
But I couldn't do the opposite.
I hear you. I think you're not alone. We have 2 minutes to get through the rest of this segment. So this is a very cool picture.
I love this picture. And so I know, do you know who Jon Snow is? Okay, so this is apparently the cave that he got intimate with somebody. I've never watched any of the movies, so I don't know.
Where he got intimate with someone.
Apparently. So
interesting.
Yeah, so you can climb into this cave from either side. You can see some of our group over on the other side. It was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, but that water is hot. Like you could put your feet in it for maybe a minute, and then that was it.
Heated by
geysers.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's and there's, speak of geysers, they call this Mars. So it's all mud geysers, and it was stunning, but in a different kind of stunning. You know, when I first saw this picture, I took it, but when I first started, I thought, geez, this could look like Morocco as much as it could look like Iceland.
Yes.
If you didn't have the steam rolling across.
Yeah.
But it was really, really neat, and that was very, very close to the picture of Jon Snow's cave, as I would call it.
Jon Snow's love den.
Yeah, that's not what it's called, but I can't pronounce the real word.
This is beautiful.
This is Mary's house, and she is 92, and this is her summer cottage, and she comes for the summer. You have to drive by her house to go see the puffins.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, as you can see, the whole house is covered in grass. Yeah, and oh, there's the puffins.
How cute are they?
Oh my goodness. Tracy Nasadik, a friend of mine, took this photo because she had a much better camera than I did, and I said, could you please send me a picture of a puffin for TV? Well, she couldn't choose, so she sent me like 6 different photos, and I just put one, but they are just the cutest little things ever.
They look very sweet.
And as we were leaving the South Coast, this is a photo I took of some of the volcanoes. This photo, thank you Samsung phone, this is through the bus window.
Oh, that's
I
impressive.
thought that was really
Very good. Very good.
And it was nice to see some sunshine because we hadn't seen a lot of sunshine.
Yes.
And you know, back to the rocks and the water. I mean, you just couldn't get enough of, or I couldn't get enough of the scenery because it really is breathtaking.
We must be getting close to the halfway mark on the pictures. How about we take a look at this one and then throw to a break? What are we, this is just
Iceberg Lagoon.
Yep.
Iceberg Lagoon. So these icebergs are just floating through on their way to the ocean, and it was just a stunning, stunning place to.
Beautiful.
I could have again spent hours, and those are truly the colors of them. They are just beautiful, and the black is the ash from it's the volcanic ash. It's not dirt. So people think that they're dirty icebergs, but they're not.
They're not. No. Very cool. Great pictures.
Thank you.
Again, we are checking out a recent trip that Roxanna took to Iceland with a group of people, and we are going to take a quick break and come back for more. Stay with us.
We catch our breath with every heavy step. All the stories we would tell, all the memories I've kept, and we listen to Ben Howard and watch the sunrise. Whoa.
Welcome back. We are joined by Roxanna Ferguson after recently coming back from Iceland, a place not many of us have been. You had a very pleasant time. Was it your first time?
It was my first time to actually stay. I'd been through the airport many, many times, but first time that I actually was there for 9 days for sure.
Okay, population?
Just under 345,000 people.
And how many people live in the main city?
245,000.
So 100,000 are dispersed around the rest.
And a few of the little islands.
Yeah. Oh, there's some islands too. So it's pretty cool. This is the second segment. We've been looking at the beautiful scenery, and it is gorgeous there.
It truly is.
So let's continue on because we have to make this segment a bit shorter than the first one. Beautiful again.
So I want Kamloops to, you know how we pesticide free? Well, lupins are like a weed. And isn't that gorgeous? They are everywhere, all over the island. We're, you know, I think we could have lupins everywhere, but they are like a weed. They never quit growing even where you don't want them to.
Wow. So
this is called Hollywood Glacier. I guess it's a glacier it's obviously got a much more an Icelandic name, but it's used when movies are made. This is the glacier that's typically in 90% of the movies, and that's why they call it Hollywood Glacier.
Okay.
And there's us up at the top of another glacier. We did a glacier walk one afternoon. That was so much fun.
Slippery?
Will you wear
special shoes?
Yeah, the
yak tracks or whatever?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
I've just lost the name of them.
Oh, that was
crampons?
fast.
That was fast.
Do you want to go back?
That's all right. The glacier walking there is really a neat thing to do, and I would definitely go for longer next time. The great thing about that was we carved off some glacier ice and brought it back to our hotel for drinks in the evening.
Oh, that's so cool.
So we're drinking glacier ice cocktails.
That's awesome. And now this is the topography is just so
Isn't it
different.
Amazing.
It's
This
lovely.
we woke up and this was the blue sky we woke up to, and I have to say that was the first morning where it was so blue. And so I had been to this rock, which was at the guest house we stayed at the night before, and taken some pictures at night, but then when the sun was shining on it in the morning, there's, as you can see in the very bottom left-hand corner, all kinds of little buildings built into the rock, and the grass has grown over it. I would have loved to have just spent some time on the backside. You could actually, if you had some time, hike up to the top.
Yeah.
Some of our people got about a third of the way up, but it was time for dinner.
Yes, I bet.
So, but I just love that photo. It's one of my favorites.
What body of water is behind that?
Sorry?
What body of water is that?
That's not. It's actually.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, no, it is, but it's actually geyser water. Like it's just. It's yeah. It's not the actual ocean yet. The ocean is quite a ways back.
And what would that be? The Atlantic?
No, that would be the Arctic.
The Arctic Ocean, because it's so high up?
I think so.
That would make sense.
It could be the Atlantic side, actually, because we were still on the south. So you're probably right.
Maybe. Okay, let's move along to the next one. Here we go.
So another waterfall, but the
Yes.
thing I loved about this one is you could hike up to the top and then look over above it, which was great. And if you kept walking up that trail, it was waterfall after waterfall after waterfall after waterfall. And just, you know, the thing about Iceland is in one photo you'll see the dark from the ash, and another photo you'll just see how green it is, and then you've got the white from the glaciers, you've got the white from the waterfalls. It's just, the contrast is phenomenal. And 2 weeks before we were there, there was no green. It was brown.
Wow. Quick
And so in
turnaround.
2 weeks, it was just beautiful. Like our guide said, you are so lucky.
Okay, into the next one.
So this is the Blue Lagoon, and that's, I think, probably what Iceland is most famous for.
Right.
So this is a man-made lagoon from all of the thermal heating, but it's such a great day. It's a spa. It's you pay your admission and you can spend the whole day there, and it's different parts of the lagoon are at different temperatures. So it was just great fun to hang out there for an afternoon. Absolutely.
All right, into the next picture we go.
So these are basalts, and they're all over, well, I don't know about all over the world, but you can find them in many places. So this was a black sand beach, and you can see the cave behind, and then that's the rock formation from the waves and the earth moving. So I just thought that was such a neat picture, and we were climbing up there and taking photos, and our guide was getting mad at us because we were climbing up there and taking photos.
Awesome.
But we had a lot of fun.
All right, into the next one, and this looks more like a downtown
This
picture.
is downtown Reykjavik at 2 a.m.
Wow, that's
2
as dark
a.m.
as it's gonna get.
Yeah, it was pretty light, and it was
Awesome.
absolutely fantastic. And I threw this picture in also because it shows you the contrast between Mary's house and
Yes.
and you know the glass city. There's tons of glass, beautiful buildings. Which, when the sun is shining, it just makes it brilliant. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a neat picture for that time of day.
Okay, we got to race through these. Obviously, World Cup action. People
Everybody
gathering.
outside in the rain. That was our only one rainy day, but it was so much fun to be there with the local fans.
And then there's one local fan that sort of stands out.
Yeah, we met him on our way walking to World Cup, and I said, "Could I take your photo?" And he goes, "Yes, absolutely." And he just, but there were so many like that.
Sure.
So many like that. It was
They
great.
like their soccer, do they?
Well, it was the first time since 1947.
Sure.
And they were the smallest nation to have ever made. So they're pretty proud.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Iceland looks like a really cool place to visit. I know that you may be doing another secret destination tour. If people want to know
Absolutely.
about it in the next few years. Next year.
I'm hoping like in the next 18 months. We have
Nice.
to fit it in between all the other groups that we're doing. But yeah, it's going to be completely different, super interesting.
Awesome. Okay, so keep it in mind if you've ever wanted to have a mystery vacation. She'll tell you how to pack, by the way. It won't be completely mysterious that way, but could be kind of fun. Information is on the screen travel-wise, 851-0211. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.
But I always have those moments in the mountains. Oh, all the wonders that I saw, all the stories that were told when I traveled so damn far and I find myself lost. More